Hi, welcome to Atmosphere Cleveland. I'm your host, Monica Green, and Cleveland is on the rise. We have so many good things to show you. Now, some would say there's nothing to do or nowhere to go in Cleveland. But today we're going to take the opportunity to discover Cleveland in a very different way. As a sidebar, I would be remiss not to take a moment and just think back over the past few years. We've lost so many legends, both locally and nationally, like Amy Winehouse, the LeVerts, Michael Jackson, Don Cornelius, and the great and awesome Whitney Houston. They'll all be missed dearly. Now, on a lighter note, and a very exciting note, Atmosphere Cleveland took a trip downtown to the City Hall. We had the opportunity to stop by and speak with Natoya Walker Minor, and she gave us great confidence about the direction of Cleveland and where it's going. Now, Natoya said Cleveland is on the rise. Let's take a look. Natoya Walker, one of the most powerful women in the city of Cleveland, currently the Chief Deputy of Public Affairs for Mayor Frank Jackson. Every minute of her day means progress for the city of Cleveland.
I'm responsible for the Public Affairs Cluster, and that includes the departments of Aging, Community Relations, Health, Civil Service, Human Resources, Workforce Investment Board, and of course the Office of Equal Opportunity that has my passion. My cluster, the Public Affairs Cluster, is really the human cluster. So it's the cluster that touches people day to day. It's human resources, it's workforce development, it's our seniors and whatever their needs are. It's community relations and dealing with the young people that may be getting in trouble with the police and in their schools and in their communities. It's the health department dealing with, right now it's flu season, and just dealing with all the challenges that people have that would impact the social economics, if you will, of the city of Cleveland. In the role of chief, I serve as more or less the intermediary for 6 other departments that are under my cluster. The 7th department, which is the Office of Equal Opportunity, I directly manage that day to day. So serving in an intermediary role, I make sure that the mayor's vision is executed through those directors in those departments. The mayor's vision is quite simple. It's the same as it was when he ran and campaigned in 2006. It's to help the least of these. And helping the least of these, we have to make that happen in various departments. Most recently, the least of these is defined as those returning from incarceration. We just removed the box from our application, the box that says, do you have a criminal background check? We know that removal of that box on our employment applications will eliminate potential discrimination for men and women that are returning from doing their time for whatever crime that they committed.
How does this vision affect those who have been incarcerated?
They don't have to disclose that initially. So typically for OEO, for example, if I were interviewing somebody, there would be 2 sets of interviews, the first interview and the second interview. They wouldn't have to disclose that until the second interview. The significance of removing that box is that you review the credentials and experience of the person free from preconceived thoughts of what their criminal background check is. So we get the most qualified persons at the second interview, and then we move forward and make a decision if we're going to hire that person or not.
How is Cleveland growing? I understand we have billions of dollars circulating. Tell us about that.
Presently, there's about $8 billion worth of work going on in the city of Cleveland. It's about $5 billion in development and $3 billion specific to healthcare development. That is phenomenal. It's phenomenal for what's going on in this region. And in my role here in the Office of Equal Opportunity, I work to ensure that there's diversity and inclusion in contracting and workforce. That means that I'm trying to make sure that Clevelanders are on the job and Clevelanders have access to those contracts if they're a qualified subcontractor.
What does this look like in reality for the city? How will the people who live here benefit?
our Flats area will be rejuvenated. Adjacent to City Hall, we'll have the Medical Mart. 2 blocks from City Hall, where Tower City is, we'll have the casinos. There's building going out in the inner ring suburbs that directly impacts Cuyahoga County and the city of Cleveland. We'll have employees. That will mean that those particular places will need employees. So I'm also working on the supply diversity side. I'm working with the Workforce Investment Board so that we can make sure that we have qualified, competent employees ready to take those jobs.
Okay, how does the small business get an opportunity to bid on some of these larger opportunities?
Of the $8 billion going on right now, only one of those projects is funded in part by the City of Cleveland, and that's the Flats East Bank. So we work in tandem with the developers on, for example, the casino project, on the Medical Mart, to advertise that. Most of those places use an outside consultant to do that, and we work with them, and then once we learn of outreach events, we e-blast that out to those that are certified through our office here in the City of Cleveland.
How do you see Cleveland in the next 5 years? What's happening in Cleveland?
I see a rejuvenated city of Cleveland. Cleveland is the best location in the nation. I mean, we have the greatest resource right behind City Hall. We have Lake Erie, that's phenomenal. Our water department is world class. We have that here. We have world class medical facilities here in the city of Cleveland. People come from all over the world to be treated at one of our hospitals. We have 3 major sports teams in our midst, and we also have the hockey that's burgeoning, and I believe there's some women's sports that are also going on. So we're here, West 6th Street, East 4th Street, all those things are just blowing up, if you will. Our community development and economic development departments are investing into downtown, being a downtown neighborhood. That means that we want people walking through the neighborhood. We want people spending money, actually, because we need our economy rejuvenated that way. And I see that, I foresee that, because a lot of this development that I'm speaking of is right within a 1-mile radius, so I am confident that people will be moving in downtown. People will visit downtown, our sports events, our restaurants, our bars, our activities. I'm excited about what the future holds, and I'm excited about what the mayor, under his leadership, working in tandem with City Council, what we've been able to do.
As you can see, Cleveland is moving in the right direction. Now stay tuned, because we're going to get up close and personal with Leon from the 5 Heartbeats, as well as Satoria McDonald is going to grant you access to the 216. Now when we come back, Pamela Holmes from the Great Cleveland Clinic is going to share how they play a big part in the development of our communities. Welcome back. Now, as I told you, the Cleveland Clinic, through the leadership of Pamela Holmes, has invested a great deal of time, money, and thought in the community. Here are some of the things they are doing. A lot of people don't know all of the community things that Cleveland Clinic does. I know you mentioned that you guys have over 120 partnerships and you spent more than $1 million. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, I'd love to. When an organization comes to the Cleveland Clinic for dollars, which many of them do, assuming being the largest employer that there are a lot of dollars to be allocated, the problem is that we are a nonprofit as well. So you have to be very careful about how you allocate money to other nonprofit organizations. So one of the things that we look at is, how do you plan to spend the money that you're asking us for? Now, I'm sure you remember in the day, it was always about a fundraiser and a party. Well, we're beyond parties. When we give money, it's about how's it going to benefit the community, and is it going to help the clinic be viewed as a better partner. So we sit down with each and every organization, all 120, and talk to them about what their intentions are, what do they plan to do, and how the community is going to benefit from the money that we give them.
You do a lot in the community with children. Tell us about what you do with the Boys and Girls Club.
They came to us very genuinely asking for a sum of money to help them with some programming. And what I decided to do with them is to say, okay, who is your population? Obviously they're children. And then how can we as the clinic bring what we have the best? You know, what lane are we in? The lane that we're in is in healthcare. So if we take healthcare and give it to the children, then it's a much better benefit to them. So we said, here's some money. What I want you to do is I want you to give all the children some money during a period of time that they can come to our farmers market that we have here from, I don't know, it starts before June and it goes all the way to October. So the kids come every week, every Wednesday, and they bring money and they walk around with a nutritionist and they learn about all the vegetables that are grown in Ohio by Ohio growers and farmers, and fruits and vegetables and seasons, and then they learn how to cook with it and what do you do with this, and then they go back to their businesses or their community centers and then they prepare the meal.
Cleveland Clinic is big on preventative medicine. You do a lot with Langston Hughes. Tell us about that.
Langston Hughes is really houses an organization that's very, very old and very, very beneficial to the community called SOS, Senior Outreach Services. And they had to relocate, and they relocated in this building on 179th and Quincy. Well, the clinic, they came to us and asked us to be a partner with them, and they needed some heavy financial support. And so the clinic made that commitment. And in the meantime, I sat and worked with the director around creating programs on health and wellness in that facility. So we have our own little center. We have a sign outside that says Cleveland Clinic, and people can come there, and it's a health education and a wellness facility. So it is very popular, and it's growing by leaps and bounds every day. Recently, we had a program called Healthy You. And what we really try to do, and we gear this toward women, and this is around the whole chronic disease, healthy eating, exercise, and trying to feel good about yourself and doing something for yourself. So this Healthy You series that we had was just wonderful. We had about 50 women there, and 3 clinic physicians, all African American physicians, participated in. The first part of the program was all about cooking. So Dr. Linda Bradley was responsible for bringing in all of these healthy foods, and she was blending up all kinds of things that didn't really appeal to me, but the people loved them. She made greens without pork, and it tastes really good. And you know that we as African American people have certain ways we like to have our mac and cheese and so on and so forth. So Dr. Bradley was very, very good at showing how to make these things that we like and we love culturally, but how to make them healthy so that you don't have all the fat that we normally eat with those. Then we had another physician, Dr. Karen Cook, who teaches Zumba. And she's very, very committed to the movement and exercise and getting your body, metabolism going, and the ladies loved it. I tried it and I had to stop after about 10 minutes. But it was wonderful and people really did enjoy it. And then our third physician brought them back down to yoga, down to kind of a self-awareness and an inner peace is what yoga is supposed to do. And we have just been getting so many calls from people wanting to know when we're going to do it again, you know, and how soon we're going to do it again because it was so successful.
Wow, people don't know about all of the good things Cleveland Clinic does.
Everyone, and I think the commercial says, deserves high quality of life and of health care. And I think we try to do that by providing it to the patients in the community as well.
Well, if you didn't know, now you know. Cleveland is on the rise, and here at Atmosphere Cleveland, we believe in our great city, and it is our goal to bring you up-to-date information that will showcase the great things that are happening right here in C-Town. Yes, great things are happening right here in Cleveland. Huntington Bank is another organization in Cleveland that has taken a leadership role in making sure that they meet the needs of our people. They consider themselves the people's bank. They believe in investing in the rebirth of our city. They also have taken a strong role in the development of small businesses. What is your role with Huntington?
The majority of my responsibility is small business development. I am responsible for the day-to-day operations of this office, making sure that everyone is in place doing their job. But primarily, I am out in the market, downtown market, generating new business, as well as visiting my current clients.
Tell us what sets you apart from other banks. It seems like Huntington is a very customer-focused bank.
We do offer extended hours, and the reason why we decided to do that is because we wanted to reach out to our customers. We have clients that work. I mean, everyone works, and everyone cannot get to the bank during the day. So by extending our hours, it makes it more convenient for our customers to do their banking.
Do you do anything with the small business community?
I target small businesses that are a good fit for the bank. I actually work with them to try to help them to establish their business and provide them with the knowledge that they need to start a business.
What organization do you partner with in the community?
I actually work with organizations like the President's Council. They have, as you know, a small business program, and I'm going to be partnering with them so that I can do small business workshops, so that I can help them to identify what it is that they need when they are coming to the bank seeking banking services.
Not only are you customer friendly, but I hear you are doing big things in the area of education.
We actually have developed a partnership with the Cleveland School District. We're going to be going into the East Cleveland School District in a couple of weeks to provide their students with a financial program. We also have, we were working with Youth Opportunities Unlimited this summer with the kids, and it was amazing to see, how beneficial it was for the kids to learn the importance of banking.
Tell us, how does a small business get prepared to get financing with your bank?
Small business owners, they need to be prepared financially. They need to come prepared with a financial package, which would include business financials, which would include tax returns for both the business and the individual. They need to have a personal financial statement. They need to have be able to identify their debts. For us, we need to understand the business and the operation of the business and what is their business cycle, so that we can put them in the best product.
What does the growth of Cleveland look like through your Huntington lenses?
Well, I'm very optimistic about the growth of the city, and I think that in the future, Cleveland is going to be a major player in Ohio. I think that there are partnerships that are going to help that to happen. Huntington Bank is very involved with financially with projects that are happening in the city, and I think that it's going to evolve and help to generate lots of revenue and jobs for the city. I think that the partnerships that we have established and will continue to establish will play a huge part in the success of the growth of the city.
Tell us again, why Huntington?
We are a relationship bank, and from that standpoint, we don't want to just work with you to open up your checking account. We want to be part of your family. We want to be able to help you when there is a need for education for your children. We want to be able to help you to buy that first mortgage home and provide you with a mortgage loan. We want to be that first bank that will help you to invest your retirement funds. And the only way that we're going to be able to do that is to know our customer.
As I said in the beginning, when you see Cleveland Clinic and Huntington Bank reinvesting time and money to reignite our city, while the City Hall is strategizing the master plan of Renaissance, Cleveland, we are on the move. Now when we come back, I have a special guest who is going to discuss some real important things that you should know. Yes, real important things like real estate. The question everyone wants to know about, how do I invest? Welcome back. Now I have with me the powerful real estate guru, Ms. Kim Johnson, who is here to discuss the state of real estate here in the city of Cleveland. Kim, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
I'm glad you're here. Can you please tell our viewers some of the great things that you are doing, some things about your company? Tell us.
Well, I'm a real estate broker. I've been practicing real estate since 1994, so this is my 18th year in the business. And I am currently with Keller Williams Realty. And we are the second largest franchise in the country, 80,000 agents and brokers all over the nation. So we have an incredible network, and I think we were recently voted the best workplace in the city. So we're really excited about that.
Oh, that says a lot, especially best workplace.
Well, our values are God first, family, and then the business. And we are really, really strong believers in the family unit and putting God first.
That's awesome, especially in real estate, especially at this time. So many people have lost their homes. There's just a lot of noise around this real estate market. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing, or some things that people can do who may be in trouble with their house.
What we are really, really concerned about is training and developing our agents so that they can meet the needs of the people where they are today. You're absolutely correct. In my 18-year career, we are experiencing times like I've never seen before. And what I would encourage people to do who are in trouble is to be very cautious regarding the assistance that they reach out for. If you are in trouble, it is best that you speak with your lender that you have the relationship with, even if things are not in order. That's the first place that you should communicate, to try to work things out or find out what options are available. If you do need additional support, reach out to a licensed real estate professional, and do not pay any money up front based on promises that are made that unfortunately many times are not delivered upon. So be very, very cautious so that you're not taken advantage of any further.
So you're saying that if a person is in trouble with their mortgage, the first place they should go is to their lender. Now, a lot of people look at their lender as the bad guy. So
it's difficult, and what we have to understand with the lenders is there are basically three departments that you're going to be engaging with. The first line of defense is the collection department. Okay, and they can be very aggressive and abrasive and insensitive to whatever your hardship is. It's important to try to think of it from a business perspective and not to take things personally. If you are feeling overwhelmed and you feel like you can't make those calls on your own, or you can't withstand the dialogue with the collections department, then I would encourage them to get a housing counselor involved.
So where would they get a housing counselor?
They can dial 211. First call for help, the United Way, or contact any real estate brokerage. They're certainly welcome to contact me, and I can certainly direct them to a housing counselor, and I would encourage a HUD certified counselor.
Okay, so the first line of defense is to talk to your lender. You may get the credit department, obviously. Second line of defense, if in fact you're not comfortable with that, is to call 211, get someone to work on your behalf or call your agency. And what was the third area?
I would say get a HUD certified counselor or contact a real estate professional, because that person can help you navigate the waters. And as I mentioned, there are three aspects to that lender. The first line of defense is collections. And in my opinion, they're the lowest level. Okay, so they'll tell you, they'll threaten you, or they'll, tell you that
on commission. A lot of them are.
They do receive bonuses if they collect the money. They're not really concerned about you, in my opinion. They're concerned about collecting the bank's money, and that's their job, and I understand that. Then you have loss mitigation. Those are the powerhouse people within the lending institution that actually have the authority to review a situation and make a decision. And then finally, you have the legal department, where after they've exhausted all of their resources, if you're not opening the mail and you're not communicating, they have no choice. They have to proceed with litigation. So those are the three, pieces of the puzzle, and you need to understand how to communicate with each of them. So if you don't know, then solicit the help of someone who does.
That's excellent information. Also, there are people who have already lost their homes. Is there hope for them after you lose your home, your credit? They say that this is the time to buy. So what if you're on the other side of that? What do you do now?
If you're on the other side of it, always understand that, it's just a material possession. So you can always begin again. It is true that your credit is damaged as a result of delinquent payments and ultimately a foreclosure. The foreclosure typically lasts on your credit bureau for about 10 years. But after 3 years of the of the property going through foreclosure from the sheriff's sale date. That's when you start counting 3 years after the property was sold at the sheriff's sale. If you reestablish yourself, then you can qualify for a mortgage again after just 3 years.
So after 3 years, anyone who has gone through this process, there's hope that they can get
Absolutely.
Another home. So what are some of the ways? I know that there's some creative ways, maybe is it lease option? What are some of the ways that people can get back into the market?
I would encourage them to get a secured credit card so that they can begin to reestablish good credit. And you can speak with several lenders in our community. I believe Key Bank offers a secured credit card. I know that PNC also does. There may be others that are out there, but that will help. The secured credit card reports as if it's a real credit card, even though it's secured based on a deposit that they demand for you to have that card. You want to save as much money as you can and not be late on any financial obligations, because the worst thing you can do is have a hardship and then have subsequent issues afterwards.
Okay, understood. Now, what about for those who are just entering into the market? They've never had a home, first-time buyers or either investors. Where do they go? Where is the opportunity right now, especially in Cleveland?
Well, everything is on sale. People ask me all the time, how's the real estate industry? And I say, we're having a clearance sale. You know? So this is definitely the time to buy. People get excited about a sale in any other industry.
Right.
This is an awesome time to absolutely create wealth for yourself. They're not making any more land. People are always going to need a place to live. So real estate has created more wealth in this country for millionaires than any other vehicle.
So, okay, let's just talk practical. There's a family at home right now who's watching. They have a little savings. They don't really know where to invest. They're not truly investors, you know, professional investors. Where would you tell them to start? Just where do they start?
I would say speak with a financial planner, because I believe that people jumping into real estate, acting as investors without understanding the landlord and tenant law, without understanding the financial obligations, without understanding how to manage property, contributed to the outfall that we're having today. So I would caution them from jumping in, you know, very quickly just because it looks appealing. I would say educate yourself on the process and then determine which aspects of real estate you're interested in. Are you interested in multifamily properties? Are you interested in single family homes? Are you interested in strip centers?
So you're saying you should have a plan?
Absolutely, you should have a plan, and you should educate yourself. Either go to the library, you know, read books, attend seminars, reach out to real estate professionals, talk to lenders. It's just like the stock market. You know, it's your responsibility to educate yourself. Anytime you're handing your life over to someone else, you know, there's a possibility it may not work out.
I'm at the library. What am I looking for when I'm at the library? My family, we're at home. We have a little bit of money to invest, and we're at the library now trying to get the information that you're telling us to get. What is that information?
If they're interested in real estate, I would, you know, there are a lot of programs out there. Robert Kiyosaki has written programs. Carlton Sheets has written programs. I would say speak to a financial planner so that they can give them a specific list of books that would be appropriate for them based on their risk tolerance and based on what they are interested in accomplishing. Are they looking at getting a primary residence and accumulating wealth within that, or are they looking to have assets in a portfolio that they're going to expand over time? So it really depends on their individual goal.
Now, can they call you?
Absolutely.
And how can they reach you?
My office number is 440-318-1620. My direct dial number, I'm a little reluctant to share, but I'll be happy to help. And if I can't help, I can usually direct you to the appropriate source. So I will share my personal number is 216-322-0633.
And what about your website?
KW.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kim. We appreciate all of the information. I'm sure our viewers will appreciate it as well. Thank you for joining us today.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Now, when we come back, Satoria is going to grant you access in the 216. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Satora McDonald, and welcome to Access 216. Now I'm going to introduce you to the nightlife in Cleveland, the music scene, giving you a visual of some of the hot kinds of entertainment right here in Cleveland. So I had the pleasure of stopping by one of Cleveland's sexiest nightclubs, the Harvard Wine and Grill. Come Come on with me. Take a look. You'll love it.
The interior design is just awesome. The bar and bar stools are very stylish, as well as the dining area. Having a party or gathering, the Harvard Wine and Grill provides the kind of atmosphere that you and your guests can appreciate. It's secure, friendly, and clean.
Harvard Wine and Grill is a celebration of Cleveland and a celebration of the area. If you had an opportunity to look on the walls, you see lots of pictures of all the old buildings in the area. Actually, all the buildings on Harvard that date back 50, 60, 70 years even. And on the back wall where our artists perform is a mural of the city of Cleveland. So it's all about the area, it's all about Cleveland, it's all about celebrating where we are, who we are, and what we do.
I got the feeling this is really, really a romantic place. Is this for couples, singles? What kind of atmosphere would you say we have here?
Well, I'd say it's a little bit of all. We've had the pleasure of hosting some sorority events here, some fraternity events. You may find, several couples sitting here in the booth area. It's a myriad of people here, and they're kind of all over the place. It's a little bit more free-spirited atmosphere.
Let's get into your specialty drinks. You have this fabulous bar set up here. If I come in, what would be a drink that you would recommend I would get?
We offer at any one time as many as 30 to 40 different wines, different brands of wines, and it would really be based upon what your palate's looking for that day and possibly what you're going to eat.
Harvard Wine Grill has a live entertainment with jazz bands, singers, comedians, and a lot more. Need to cater your event? They have a very intimate VIP room upstairs that provides a private atmosphere for you and selected guests. Harvard Wine Grill is open Tuesday through Sunday, 3 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. For fun, food, drinks, and mingling, call them.
I know you're waiting on Leon, but first, Cleveland's Men at Large has something to say.
How you doing? It's Karen Vaughn from Access 216. We are backstage at the So Seductive Love Tour, the reunion straight from Cleveland of Men at Large in the building. We're hanging out. How you guys feeling?
Oh man, we're so excited.
You gotta go back to the 80s video. I feel like now tying up my dress in a knot and just running all around. I got the colors on, the bright colors, right? No, that's good. I'm good. But listen, how does it feel for you guys to come back in Cleveland and perform and kill it on stage like you guys did?
They're trying to make me cry tonight. Usually he the emotional one, man, or Damon will be crying over there like Ralph Tres, man, Mr. Sensitivity.
Oh, wow, that hurt me.
I'm excited, man. I'm just excited for what's to come. I love this dude right here. I ain't gonna do it, man. I'm straight.
I see you getting a little teary now. I'm gonna give you a moment. I'm gonna give you your moment.
I'm having a good time, you know what I'm saying? We lost so many over the last years. It's a blessing to still be here and be able to come home for our first show together. Not in California, but where it all started, right here in Cleveland, Ohio, 1986 at Jeffrey Charles' house, where it all started. Miss Ross Tyler started in the 80s. Red Burn off, Smitty's Lounge on 55th.
That one thing, we went to that cabaret when I was 13 and I had no business being there.
So when you want to take it back to 86, tell me the songs that, inspired you, the songs that you guys used to sing when you guys were out and about.
Probably New Edition was a real big influence.
Like which one?
I mean, you pick one. Mr. Telephone Man. Yeah, the early hits. What was Candy Girl?
I'm lost in love.
Yeah, Lost in Love.
Mr. Telephone Man.
Right.
All of that. Anything that we used to go to the concert and
cry.
Oh, but that was later. Though.
That was like 89.
Yeah, that was when Johnny.
Boys the Men.
Yeah. So Let's Be Friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not my kind of girl. Any Heartbreak.
Absolutely.
A little bit of love is all it takes.
I was what was the Pop? That was my
Popcorn. Oh yeah, that was the one.
I'm still
dancing with you.
Yeah.
I'm still
right.
Tell me about the new millennium Men at Large. What are you guys working on?
This is the guy that's going to really actually bring us back to the forefront. There are no difficulties or contractual negotiations that we need to work out. It's just, his schedule, my schedule, and, just the time and doing what we need to do. As you can see, we haven't lost a step. We just fat and trying to, maintain our breath out there. But, it was really exciting. Cleveland, I love Cleveland, man. both live in Atlanta now, but Cleveland is just a magnificent place to be. I don't care what you say about Cleveland. Cleveland is a wonderful place. And I think out of any of the groups that come out of Cleveland, we never had any problems with like haters. Cleveland always put Men at Large up and they supported us. So right now we're thinking about going to the studio and doing a record, but we're definitely going to do a lot of shows. We have at least 12 cities that go right now that are on deck. And we're going to go out there and shut them down and let them know what real singing and real talent is about. We're starting a revolution. We're trying to bring back or be a part of the leaders of the revolution of bringing back real music, real singing, real talent. So that's where we at.
Karen. Last time I saw you perform was New Year's Eve, and you guys shut down the show.
Well, that was with
Levert too and
my other guy.
And the Rude Boys.
But,
yeah.
You know, right now I guess it's just timing, and it's time for what. There's always you always got to go back to where you came from.
Absolutely.
Your roots, what started you out, and this is what it is.
How can those that want to stay in touch with you guys and follow you? I know you're on Facebook all the time, trying to get your Twitter in. So those that want to follow you to see exactly what you guys are doing.
It's at Dave Tolliver or at Jason and Paula C. At Dave Tolliver, that's 2 L's, or at Jason and Paula C. Same thing for Facebook, Dave Tolliver at Jason and Paula C. Or just search our names, David Tolliver, Jason Champion, and be Google heavy.
All right. Well, thank you for championing Cleveland. Thank you for being a part of the Soul Seductive Love Tour tonight. And we have some counterparts out there that we're about to go check out. Dave Hollister, Donnell Jones, and Carl Thomas. So we're going to have a blast tonight.
Incredible. Dave Hollister is one of our favorites. I've done a couple plays with him. Carl Thomas is a great singer. Donnell Jones has some good songs.
But they ain't from Cleveland. We love y'all.
I'm trying to be political.
Cleveland.
I'm trying to be right because I'm, hey.
We're going to go check out the concert. Y'all have a good night.
God bless y'all.
Okay, Cleveland, here's what you've been waiting on. He's been in the 5 Heartbeats. He's played Little Richard. And oh my gosh, he's just an extraordinary actor. Leon, up close and personal.
Well, you're playing the part of a bad boy tonight in Why Do Good Girls Like Bad Boys. 8:30 tonight, the very first showing. This is your launch city of the revival. 8:30 tonight at the Palace Theater. So tell us about your character, Leon.
I play Silk. I play the bad boy to Drew Sidora's good girl, church girl, and she comes to stay with her cousin to go to school, and her cousin happens to live with at Silk's house. And she meets Silk. She seems to be infatuated him with his looks and the way he goes on about himself, and they seem to mate, as you might say, in an animalistic kind of way. And the rest is history. So many times, women make decisions of going out with so-called bad boys thinking they can change them, but it's actually the woman that gets changed. And so we have to realize we got to make the right decisions in life.
Yeah. And speaking of, the woman is changing, you're raising a soon-to-be teenage daughter. So what do you tell her about Bad Boys?
Wow, my daughter, I have to say, my daughter's name is Noelle, and she's just fantastic. She goes to a great school. And, she's got a head on her shoulders, and she's the first one. A guy walked down the street, and his pants be hanging down. She's like, God, that's really not right, Daddy. This is very inappropriate the way he's dressed. And,
awesome.
Yeah, she's just like, she'll come like, it's like, do you know that this girl in my class said this? And they're like, I can't believe they use inappropriate language. I'm like, I love the way you talk.
Yes.
So far, so good. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. There was a real tender moment during the final season of Real Housewives of Atlanta at Cynthia's wedding when you and your daughter were dancing. It was like the perfect father-daughter moment. I was watching. I was like, oh, every little girl goes through that, with her dad. So I just thought that was really special. I don't want to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta or any of that.
Yeah,
I just thought it was a real tender moment.
We have a very special relationship. And she was just out in California with me for like 2 weeks, right before school. So we have the best time. It's always great.
Well, having, entertainment parents, do you see an actor, a singer, a model in your daughter, Noelle?
Yeah, no, she's already doing it. She's
awesome.
She's already recording her first single. She's been offered a couple of little film roles and stuff like that. So anytime she's with me, she spends her entire time on the set. And she's a little filmmaker. She's been making movies, on her own. So, she's definitely well in it, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I see. Look at that. You got the daddy glow.
Oh, yeah. That's my heart and soul right there. She's the only girl I know that's not going to leave me.
That's true. I'm a daddy's girl and to the end.
Yeah, well, I hope she stays that way.
Well, let's talk about some of your new projects that you have coming out. You're in a movie that's produced by Troy Bear. Haven't heard her. She was in Dynasty. She was Diane Carroll's daughter.
Yeah, she was Baby Doll in the Five Heartbeats.
Yes, she was.
Yes, and she's written, directed a few movies, but she's been off the scene. But she's written and directed this movie, which is very good. It's a romantic comedy. And it's about these three women. It's coming out Valentine's Day 2012. It's about these three women who get left by their men, and one on their 2 weeks before she's getting married, and they're just sick and tired of men being evasive and not giving the answers of why they leave. So they abduct these men, handcuff them, tie them up, put them in an RV, and take them out in the middle of the wilderness and demand they give them the answers of why they left them. And when the men break down and start telling them, some women, they just can't take it. But it's a funny ride. It really is.
Truth hurts.
Yeah, and it's very poignant. As soon as you say being free of your ex, everyone's like, oh, I want to see it.
Yeah, but on Valentine's Day, you think you're going to go out with your boo and see this movie, and then, you're going to have some really interesting conversations after you see the movie that comes out on Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah,
pretty amazing.
You're going to see a lot, but honestly, all you ladies out there, let's be honest. How many Valentine's Days have you spent with your girlfriends instead of the man that you don't have or shouldn't have?
Shouldn't have is a good one. You sweating the man that you shouldn't have.
Oh, yeah.
Should have left him a long time ago. Okay, I'm sorry. My bitterness is coming out from 10 years ago.
I think you got the first paying customer for the X-Ray movie.
I'm going to go see it. I'm going to get it on DVD as well. So congratulations with that.
And I got a movie called Soul Ties, which is actually a faith-based movie, which is based on the book by T. Austin about a lady growing up in the South and all the things she saw when she was young with her mom and her dad that affected her choices with men in life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one too. Deep movies, Leon.
Yeah, one's a comedy, one's a drama. I just keep it moving, playing with my band and being happy.
Well, much success and happiness to you.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you. Ladies, please expect to see you tonight at the Palace Theater. Can't wait.
Wow, that man is so talented. I just love him. Well, thank you for joining me right here on Access 216. I'll see you next week as I grant you access. I'm your host, Satora McDonald, and thank you. Back to you, Monica.
Thank you, Satora. That was great. I enjoyed Leon as well as our homeboys, the men at large. I must stop by the Harvard Wine and Grill real soon. I want to thank Natoya Walker Minor from the Cleveland City Hall, Lynn Johnson from the Huntington Bank, and Pamela Holmes from Cleveland Clinic, and my special guest today, Miss Kim Johnson. Thank all of you for taking a tour of some of the great organizations and the people who are helping in the rebirth of our great city. Also, on behalf of Atmosphere Cleveland, I want to thank you, our viewers, for joining us today. I'm Monica Green, your host, and I'll see you next week on Atmosphere Cleveland. Thank you. Bye-bye.